Good morning. Yesterday was the first day of early voting in the state of New York. I couldn't wait for that day to come so that I could make my voice heard. I did not only vote for myself, but I voted for the voiceless. I voted for all my Haitian brothers and sisters in Ohio whose lives have been threatened due to false accusations. I voted for my fellow Haitians in Ohio who came to the US legally on a work program, who are now living in fear because the ugly wrinkle and orange elephant wants to gain power. I voted for my fellow Haitians who went through the legal immigration process to come to the US and are now being treated as illegal immigrants because of JD Vance and Donald Trump lies. I voted for all of my fellow Haitians who have TPS, the temporary protection status, who are now both fearful and unable to vote. I also voted for a special group of people, those anxious little school children who go to school every day fearing that there might be another mass school shooting because Republican elected officials refuse to pass legislation to protect them. The Republican lawmakers always give the same answer after each mass shooting. They always say that it's not the time and the place to start talking about a solution. Now, the time and place have finally come to do something about it. The time is the remainder of the month of October until November 5th, and the place is your voting site. The time and place has finally come to get rid of the demagogues, the demagoguery, to get rid of those evil politicians who refuse to do something to protect our children. The time has finally come to drain the swamp. Before I tell you which ticket I voted for, I want to say something special to those who are fearful, like those Haitians in Ohio. Now, as you can see, the polls are trying to tell us that this is a 50-50, 48-48, 49-49 election. But when you follow the money, you see that it's a different story. I don't believe in these polls because this is the same polls, the same science that promised a red wave in 2022. And all it was just a bucket of water, no red wave. So, when you follow the money, you get a better polls because there are three billionaires put together and give Donald Trump a quarter of $1 billion. Three billionaires. And then he ended up receive more than $1 billion donations. For Kamala Harris, it is the people who put together, who donate 20, 50, 100, 200, $300 to make her $1 billion. So, when you follow the money, when you see how many people it takes to put 20, 50, 100, 200, $300 together, that's millions of people. So when you follow the money, you have a better poll. And the official poll of this program is that Kamala Harris at 57% and Donald Trump at 40%. So fear not, because the victory is near. Now, I did not vote for the Republican ticket because those guys are too racist for my taste. The Republican Party as a whole is too racist and doesn't deserve to be near any of the three branches of the US government. Once you discriminate against people for the color of their skin, to me, you are the worst species of human being that ever walked on the face of this earth. You do not deserve anybody's vote. The Republican Party shows no compassion for the elderly. They show no compassion for school children. They show no compassion for single parents. Excuse me. They show no compassion and are unwelcoming to even legal immigrants. They show no compassion for the poor. The Republican Party has no compassion and has no tolerance for black people in this country. So they do not deserve anybody's vote. Anyone with common sense will not cast a vote for this Republican Party. The Democratic Party is by no means a blameless party either. I voted for the Democratic ticket, but I have a big problem with the Democratic Party. My biggest problem with the Democratic Party is that most often they try to enforce on people certain immorality that God goes against. For instance, when you look at Vice President Kamala Harris' program for the future, you could only give her an A+, because she's planning on taking on price gouging, lowering the price of prescription drugs, housing, groceries. She's planning to give a tax cut for 100 million Americans. She's giving $600 during the first year of a child's life. She's planning to support for seniors so that they can go with dignity. A $50,000 tax break for small business owners. Those are great plans that will help the economy and help people get out of poverty and help the country. However, the punch in the guts that the Democratic Party give you sometimes it's that they have no respect for Christian members of the party, because in the same token, you will also hear that they plan to support people to love whomever they want openly with pride, that for people to marry whomever they want, men to marry men, women to marry women, and this is totally contrary to God's will. We cannot enforce on people immorality that God says that should not be done. When you read Leviticus chapter 10, verse 22, there God says, do not have sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman. That is detestable. That's the Bible version NIV. The version King James says that is abomination. Okay, so it is an abomination for two men to get together. It's an abomination for two women to get together. Therefore, the party shows no respect for its religious members, for the Christians members of the party. The party shows no respect for us, because at any given moment they try to force us to accept things that God say is unacceptable, things that God call abomination, God call stealing, lying, false witness, sin, but homosexuality and abomination. So the party has some work to do. You see how young black men, young Christian black men, and young Christian Hispanic, they don't want to have anything to do with the Democratic Party because of these kinds of things, because they know it's not cool. You will never hear the Reverend Warnock, Senator of Georgia, say things like this. Why? Because he knows it's wrong. Last week I was watching Vice President Kamala Harris was invited to an African American church. Okay, to an African American church, and there I was saying to myself, is she going to tell people inside the church to marry whomever they want openly with pride? Is she going to tell the people inside God's church for men to marry men, women to marry women? I listened to her entire speech, and she did not mention any things like this. Why? Because deep inside she knows it's wrong. If you whatever you say outside, if you can't say it inside the church, it's because it's wrong. Whatever you do outside, if you cannot do it inside the church, it's because it's wrong. So that's my biggest problem with the Democratic Party, is that we're trying to push on people filthiness that God says is wrong. Now you have celebrities and big athletes and stars that are pushing the envelopes, that are encouraging people, that are promoting such behavior. Now, for those celebrities, for those stars, for those mega athletes, remember the first day, the first second you were born, doctors and nurses had to slap your little behind to get a sound out of you. That's when you were weak, frail, and fragile. Okay, they had to kickstart your lungs with a slap so that you can start breathing on your own. You went through pre-K a nobody. You went through kindergarten, a nobody. Through elementary school, a nobody. Through middle school, a nobody. Through high school, a nobody. And then boom, you became a celebrity. You become a star. You have a fan base. You have millions of followers. You make a few $1,000,000, in some cases a few $1 billion. And suddenly you think you equal to God. You think you can say yes to something God says no to. You're fighting a losing war. You cannot go against God and win. So, what should members of the Democratic Party that live that kind of lifestyle do? There's only one word answer for them. They should repent. Repent of their abominable sin. That's the only thing. Yes, some people say, oh, but I was born this way. I was abused. So sorry that you think you were born this way. So sorry that a filthy grown up abused you when you were an innocent child. But there's still a one word answer for the solution to this lifestyle is to repent, is to get together with God and solve this issue. Repent. Other than this subject, and I think the Democratic Party is on on the road to a big victory. This is all that I have brought for you today. Until we meet again, may the Lord richly bless you.